Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a disc that just blew me away. It's Sibelius, Symphonies 3 and 4, with Yannick Nézet-Séguin. It's a great performance, so he gets his real name instead of Nazgul Snezek-Yegin, which is what he gets when he blows it. Here he doesn't blow it. He's amazing. Along with his own Orchestra Metropolitan de Montreal, whatever you call it, the Montreal Metropolitan Symphony Orchestra, his own band. You know, Nézet-Séguin is an admirable character in so many ways. He built this orchestra up. He's stuck with it loyally. He's made some outstanding recordings with them, but none more so than this. I had no expectations for this. I mean, we've had our share of not terribly interesting Sibelius, not least of which was that Decca release by the Ken doll of classical music, Klaus Mekele, which everybody raved about, which really sucked. It was just terrible. And so, who would have thought that this would be stunning? And so much better than Klaus Mekele. I mean, really, it's just no comparison. It's amazing. Nézet-Séguin just gets this. And I was worried. I was worried about this. I was worried because Nézet-Séguin as an interpreter tends to be a little bit romantically indulgent. I mean, even in the classical repertoire, I've seen him conduct things like Mozart, the Overture to La Clemenza de Tito, where he kind of hams it up a little bit. And so I thought, oh God, I hope he's not doing that for these Sibelius works, because they're nothing if not austere, sort of neoclassical pieces. And the fourth particularly, you don't want it romanticized. It's cold and eerie and creepy. And, well, he just gets it. He gets it. And he has the orchestra in top form, and they're stunningly well recorded by ATMA. There is such textural clarity in these performances. Start with the Third Symphony. The Third Symphony, is the one that a lot of people have trouble with, particularly because its endings can be very unsatisfying. He takes Sibelius at his word and, guess what? Do what the composer asks you to do, and it works splendidly well. You'd never know. At first, you might think the tempos are a little bit relaxed, just a little bit, just a hair, but they work beautifully. The first movement, the third, is full of, one of the main motives is just this sort of rolling figure, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like that. And it can sound like so much passage work, especially if you take it very quickly, because everyone's going chicka 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 like this, and it sounds very mechanical. But here, every note phrases. It means something. He understands that the key to Sibelius is hearing the woodwind parts, but making sure that those string ostinatos and those string parts have life and character. And he really understands the bass lines, the pedal points, the basses here are beautifully present. The timpani, wonderfully present. Oh my goodness, not overbearing, but you hear them. Everybody contributes to the motivic workmanship that really is a Sibelius symphonic movement. The slow movement isn't too slow. It moves along nicely, and you hear all of the subtleties of accompaniment in the lower parts. And the finale, the finale is always a problem, isn't it? The finale of the third, it goes beautifully. It's so wonderfully satisfying. It gradually, imperceptibly, thank you, gains momentum as it goes, but not to the point where when you finally get to those last chords, da, da, bwam, with the diminuendo and the timpani properly made. So you have that nice hymn-like ending. It doesn't sound like it's overshooting the end. It sounds like it's arriving when it's supposed to arrive. He doesn't hang on to those final chords to say to you in big red flashing letters, this is the end, folks, this is the end, and which only makes it sound like, it's not really the end, something's wrong. No, he does it right. He gets it all right. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful, a wonderful performance, and you could knock me over with a pin. Next, the Fourth Symphony, dark and gloomy. And dark and gloomy it is. One of the things that I never realized before I heard this performance, I knew it because I have the score, but I didn't hear it, is that the very opening phrase is not in uniform notes. It's a syncopation. We usually hear da 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 that sort of grindy thing, and the bassoons and the basses and cellos. It's not. It's actually ba-da-da-da-da. That's what it is. It's a syncopated da-da-da-da, like this. Oh, you hear that? I was shocked. I heard it. I thought, something's weird. It seems to jump at the opening. Well, it's not jumping. It's in rhythm. It's actually in rhythm. It's just marvelous the way he does that. And the rest of it is just as good and just as revelatory. I mean, the big climax, that big climax at the end of the finale, that has all of that dissonant grinding stuff. He really separates the timbres. You hear the layers of texture. You hear the different sections of brass going ba ba da da, all that stuff. The Glockenspiel, by the way, is just marvelously played. I mean, who knows from a Glockenspiel part, but they actually observe the dynamics, whoever the player is. Good job. And it's beautiful. And again, the woodwind solos are all excellent. And those wonderful string ostinatos, like that. It all has melodic point and purpose. It never just becomes this sort of inchoate buzzing, like bunches of insects whizzing around. Nothing like that. No, it's all pointed and beautiful. These are splendid performances, marvelously recorded. I don't know if this is going to be a cycle. I don't know if Nézet-Séguin's romantic phase won't kick in the first and second symphonies, where it can, if it doesn't get self-indulgent. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean, right? But wow, what a thrill to hear some really great Sibelius from a completely unexpected source. I recommend this very, very highly. And I'm very curious to get your opinion too, if you think of it as if you think it's as good as I think it is, because I think this is really special, and I'm really impressed by Nézet-Séguin and the Metropolitan Orchestra of Montreal. I was going to say Tokyo. The Tokyo Metropolitan is the one I remember, right? The Montreal Metropolitan Orchestra and ATMA for having the guts to release this. Good for them. Good for everybody. Keep on listening, friends. Take care.